Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Live at 11. Sorry about that. I'd had my camera facing the wrong way a moment ago. Anyway, lovely to see you all. So I thought I would just catch up on a few bits about what's been happening. So I don't know, I hope you saw, but on Friday and Saturday of last week, we had the Bloomz show, which I've been promoting and putting a lot of advertising up. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to all of you that came along. It was such an amazing show. We just really had such a fabulous time. There was a real good vibe about the show. There was 15 artists, 8 Bloomz members, and then we had our guest artist that we invited along, and we had a real wide range of artwork that was on display. And not only could you see the work of the artist, but you could actually go and into their studios and meet with them and chat with them about their work, about their process, buy pieces if you wanted to. But the main point of our Bloomz show is just to spread our love and our joy of the art that we create, because we believe that art should be free for all. So that's why we don't charge for our event. We put all the time and effort in ourselves, because we believe that it's important to get art out there to everyone that needs a bit of joy and a bit of colour in their lives, really, I guess. So that's what we did on Friday and Saturday. Good morning, Steve. Yeah, so Friday and Saturday it was full on. Saturday we had 2 shows, one at 10 in the morning and one at 7 in the evening. I'm getting a bit of a croaky voice actually. It's all catching up with me now. And it was just so great. And so we only do 1 show a year, compared to previous years where we've done a couple. Good morning, Stephanie. Where we've done a couple of shows. Because everything's obviously opening up, so we're going to live shows. But you know, the Bloomz was the only one where you could go all around the world to see different artists, all from the comfort of your own home. So please make sure that you get your tickets in time for next year. Like I say, the tickets are free because we just want to share the joy of what we're doing, of what we're creating, and we just want to put some colour into your world. Good morning, Claire. So what else has been happening? I had a surprise visit from my son and his family from Spain. So that was last week as well. So it all happened at once, and but it was exciting and really joyful. So what was I going to talk about today? Today I thought I'd introduce one of my pieces of work that I showed at the Bloomz, because at the art show I actually debuted a new series of work called Love and Joy. And as we know, with every love story there's heartache as well. So even though some pieces of my work did have hearts and flowers in, the actual stories behind them may not have been so pretty or romantic, shall we say. So what I do is, when I'm deciding on a series of work, I think about a theme or a topic that I want to discuss. So it could be something that's in the news. So like my previous series of work was all about 2020. And extracts from my journal. So a lot of that was obviously heavily news based, because that year was an absolute shocker for so many of us in so many different ways. Whether it wasn't just the coronavirus, it was environmental, it was within business, there was so much going on. But for my love and joy, I thought actually I need to refill my well of creativity and have a bit more fun and pleasure in what I'm writing, because before I create anything I write essays. So I thought that would be nice, that would be really lovely, but I didn't want to make it just like a bit of fluff and stuff. So I thought about different aspects of love and joy. So I do have a piece which is about love letters, and that piece actually I really got almost so much pleasure in writing about, that I actually had to stop myself from writing because I was going on for reams and reams, because people don't write love letters anymore. You know, you've got your phone, so people text or they send emojis, and even their text messaging, it's not even full sentences. I mean, that's one thing my kids do say about me. They say, "Mum, you use too many words. You can just put this or that, or shorten the word down to 3 letters or something." But I think I'm just the old-fashioned type, like many of you may be, where you actually like to sit and write a letter. So I chose 3 people from history. So I chose Napoleon and one of his letters to Josephine, and then there was a letter from Ernest Hemingway to Marlene Dietrich, and they didn't really have they do have a love affair in the fact that they were in love with each other, but it was platonic more than anything else. And then there was the letter Frida Kahlo wrote to Rivera. So I took those 3 letters, I read them, took those 3 letters, then I hand wrote them again, or extracts from the letters, and then I placed those letters in my piece. Let me get that to show you. That wasn't the one I was going to talk about today actually, but let me get that on to show you. There we go. Oh, Steve says, don't shorten anything, use the language. Use the language is so important. Yeah, it is important, but sometimes I just get carried away, Steve, and I can be sat in my studio and Phil come knocking on the door and I go, "Are you coming in yet?" And I'll realise it's pitch black out there, and I've just had my little table lamp on. I think, oh yeah, I just better go in and do some cooking. But anyway, so this is the piece, and it's a mixed media piece. But what I did was I've put the letters underneath the piece, underneath the paint. And some of the areas, I don't know if you can really see, I'm going to tilt it that way, some of the areas are coated in resin there. I think you see there, it's like coated in resin, because I just wanted to give it that glassy effect. You know, when you're reading a love letter, and the words you're reading are so beautiful because they're so heartfelt, and you get all glassy eyed. So that was really what I wanted to put, why I put the resin on. It's not all over, it's just in certain places. And also you get teary as well, so that was to represent that really. I don't know if you can see, let me show you. I can show you there. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to come out very well, but here, this area, if you can see that, I actually got my blowtorch on to the piece and I bubbled the areas, because I thought, well, some people lose their letters and they get destroyed, or maybe that love affair's over so they go and burn the letters. I think there's a bit better area that you can see where I scorched the painting. If I show you the back, you can see that I almost went through in some areas. Look, that one there, that would have been a disaster. Or maybe not, maybe it would have just added to the piece. But yeah, so with this one, I actually started off, and I'm going to do a post about this. I actually started off with putting words in different languages. I spray painted the words of different words about love in all different languages over that piece. So that's how I started originally, and then I built it up from there, because I felt that if I put the words down, and even though I'm covering them over with the paint and the collage and everything, they're still there, they're still in that piece. So the first I suppose the first layer, the first foundation layer, was just of pure love. So just words just of pure love in all different languages. And then I built on top of that. I just thought that was a nice idea, really. Anyway, that's not the bit I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to show you this piece. Let me see if I can turn it round. Turn that around there. Okay. So this piece is called Papering Over the Cracks. Now, from afar, it looks pretty, like a pretty piece. But in actual fact, when you get up close, there are loads of cracks and imperfections in it. And I don't know if that will show up really. Can you see on the painted lines? I'm not sure if it's showing up. But anyway, so what I used house paint. And I put the house paint on, and then I got my blowtorch and I dried it out really quickly so it cracked. And then I wanted to I suppose what this piece was about is about some marriages, I guess, some relationships where people just pretend everything's perfect and they put on this front and everything's fine and everything's happy, but in actual fact that may not actually be the case. But they put this front on and then they paper over the cracks and they keep going and keep going, and you sort of think, why would you want to live like that? Some people feel that they have no choices because of financial restraints, because of children, because of the way their relationships are tied into each other. And but this papering over the cracks is what keeps them going, and who are we to judge? But I pressed some flowers last year, and so I've used them this year, and I've put them in because I wanted it to look beautiful, because originally that relationship did start out beautiful, and then I've put a very thin layer of resin over the top, and it's not a perfect layer. There are a couple of bubbles and rough edges, but I wanted it to be like that. I don't know if you can see the edges. I wanted it to be like that. That was intentional, because sometimes when I do my resin, when I do a resin pour, I'll make sure it's perfect. If it's not perfect, I'll sand it down and I'll start again. But I wanted it to be like that because I wanted it to show that actually, you know, imperfections are just as beautiful, and people always strive for perfection, but as long as it works for you, then that's all that matters. So I suppose that's about this piece really. It's about papering over the cracks. People don't want to look at what the real issues are within their lives or their relationships. They don't want to do that because it may be that it's just a bit too painful for them to do that. But so that's what that piece was about. And so as pretty as it looks, it's quite sad in some respects. But anyway, so that's that piece. All my pieces that I had at the show are going to be framed. Myself and my husband, we make our own frames. So we'll be doing that between now and September. Because in September we've got the art show, the Contemporary Art Fair in Sandown at Esher. So it's the first time I'm going to be having a stand all to myself and showing my work. So I'm quite nervous about that. Rather anxious, but it's going to be good fun, because a number of the Bloomz members are also going to be there, and I know Stephanie's stand is just across the way from me, so I'll have all her good vibes and energies to keep me going. Yeah, beauty is imperfection. Yeah, it is, Steve. So I'll be doing that. So I've got lots to get on with. I'm working on a project at the moment. I've got a meeting tomorrow about it. So once I've got it all signed off, I will let you know a little bit more about it. Maybe you can actually see me progressing with this piece that I'm going to be doing. But I'll hopefully be able to tell you more next week. We'll wait and see what they say. They may not like it, may decide no. Wait and see. You never can tell. Yes, Steph, we're all going to be there together. It is going to be good. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a mini Bloomz takeover of the Contemporary Art Fair. But don't tell Matt that, because he might not let us come back again. Right, so next week I do have a conversation with, and let me just get my notes so I don't forget. It is with Lisa from Bluebell Cottage Kitchen, which is French patisserie style cakes, treats and bakes from her bakery in Sindlesham. Now, I met Lisa at the beginning of lockdown. She literally had just given up her job in, I think it was like February time, and started up her bakery and was doing home deliveries, and then lockdown happened. And her work is magnificent. You know, it is artistry on a plate. It is absolutely amazing. So I can't wait for you to meet her. It's a shame it's not in person, because I wouldn't mind trying some more of the treats. Yeah, during lockdown we had so many deliveries that no wonder I put on quite a few pounds, because her cakes were beautiful. And then when we came out of the first lockdown, we were allowed to see each other. I had all my ex-nursing friends over, and we had afternoon tea, and that was such a beautiful afternoon and early evening. But Lisa came round with these tea caddies full of the most beautiful cakes. Oh my goodness. Well, I didn't know what to choose, and I probably over-ordered a bit, but I always worry that there's never going to be enough food, so it's best always to have extra. But oh my goodness, the cakes were divine, absolutely divine. So I can't wait for you to meet her. It's only a short one today. It's only been on for 15 minutes, but I just want to say thank you so much for those of you that came to the Bloomz live art show on Friday and Saturday. I'm going to be putting up my show reel today on my Instagram page and on my YouTube page, and also it'll be going up on the Bloomz YouTube page. So I'll put all the links. I'll put all the links after the live for you to go to and have a look, because it was just, I mean, all our shows, I'm not being biased, or maybe a little bit, but all our shows are great, but this one really had such a big buzz about it that I really hope that you can make it next time. So it'll be this time next year, but we'll let you know about it. We won't let it go. So that's all really for today. So thank you ever so much. I know it was short, 20 minutes, but thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you all next week. The conversation with at 11 o'clock, and it'll be Lisa from the Bluebell Cottage Kitchen. Okay, see you later. Bye bye.